Hello again and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Can we talk about Gem and the Holograms? And hello again. Welcome to the Can We Talk About podcast. We are 14 episodes deep today, E14 Oswatage, talking about our favorite bright, flashy, nightmare 80s cartoon, air quotes classic, Gem and the Holograms. I am anything but bright and, kind of flashy, I guess. I am Joe.
I am basically all bright and flashy and really loud, too. I'm Kristen.
So you're Pizzazz, is what you're saying.
I knew as soon as I said loud, you were going to come at me with a Pizzazz joke. I don't know if you could hear the slight hesitation in my voice where I was like, damn it, I backed myself up into a corner.
Well, who wouldn't want to be Pizzazz?
I like to think I'm a little bit nicer than her. I love her, wouldn't want to be her.
You love her like a family member.
I refuse to comment either way.
Alright, well, one thing I've been thinking about, Kristen, should I come up with some terminology that I use, every episode? Because I feel like there's only so many ways that I can refer to Gem as, colorful and nightmarish without using the words colorful and nightmare, every episode.
Yeah, if you feel like you've used up your appropriate adjectives.
I could get a thesaurus. I could try, but I don't know how it's going to work out.
You say get a thesaurus like you're going to get a book or something, when actually you're just going to do a Google thesaurus sort of situation.
Yeah, search on Google and just be
honest.
like, hey, let me just, what are these words? What are other words like this word, like colorful? Bright? Not really. I just bright and colorful seem like they go together. I don't know.
Jerrica and the Technicolor hologram.
Yeah, perfect.
Coat.
Starring Donny Osmond.
Oh, wow. That's a really interesting choice for Jerrica. Is Marie Gem?
That would be great if just Donnie touched his earring and a big curtain came up on stage and it pulled down and it was Marie and the entire audience cheered.
It was red and yellow and...
and they're saying they're a little bit country and rock and roll and whatever.
Yep, man, really great coming again with these references we are definitely too young to be making. Not so much just of the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, but Donnie and Marie Osmond. That's a little bit far-reaching even for us.
And much like the series itself, Donnie and Marie, complete nightmare.
Absolutely.
We are experiencing this nightmare that is Gem and the Holograms through Shout Factory's Gem and the Holograms Truly Outrageous Complete Series box set and the wonderful world of Netflix. Would you care to give us an update on Netflix, Kristen?
It is still there.
It is still there. Wonderful.
This is Kristen, signing off.
From Action News 5, Netflix update.
And there I go, away my helicopter. I don't know why I needed the helicopter to check on Netflix, but, I like the glamour.
You're checking the internet from space. Or, the sky.
Yeah, my space helicopter.
Shut up, whatever. This week is the thrilling, I guess, conclusion to the Music Awards.
If by thrilling you mean, minorly underwhelming, sure.
Yeah, kind of depressing, maybe.
I don't know why this was called the Music Awards Part 1 and Part 2, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah, that's definitely something I have at the end there, but, hopefully some questions will be answered, like, will the Music Awards actually be involved? They won't.
Barely.
Is Chrissy made of spider magic, and if so, will her fall from the scaffolding hurt at all? Spoiler alert, she's not made of spider magic.
They'll catch her at the last minute, and her spine will snap. Gwen Stacy!
Yeah, there we go. Spider Gwen Stacy snapping her neck. Who isn't I don't know what's going on with Spider Gwen. I know she's a thing, but whatever. Is Child Services Man going to be more like Malone, or is he going to be like the other guy in Frame Up? Were there two detectives in Frame Up?
No, unless you count the cops.
Well, the cop, I guess. Yeah, the cop guy who's just like, well, wait a minute.
All right, mystery lady.
Yeah, that guy. And Malone in the same episode when they looked nearly exactly the same.
Are you asking if the Child Services Man is going to pick up a chair and break apart all of the orphans, but they were holograms the whole time?
Yes.
This is really dramatic. I wish that had happened.
Wow, Jerrica has a fake charity for hologram children.
God, she's fleecing us. That's taxpayer money.
But whatever, all those questions will be answered and more, and we'll experience it together right now. Gem and the Holograms, Episode 14, Common the Music Awards, parenthesis, Part 2.
So starting with the recap, we got recaps again. One of the things that I did notice was when they showed Lindsay Pierce on her show talking about the music awards, she referred to them as the Hot Rock Music Awards, whatever that means.
Do you think Hot Rock is like their MTV, maybe?
I guess so. That's the only thing I could think of. It sounded like branding of some kind.
I mean, any other time they've referred to it, it's been the Music Awards, not the Hot Rock Music Awards.
Yeah, Lindsay might have said it that one time they were putting in the recap here, but that was certainly the only time she said it.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I don't know, that kind of makes it less prestigious, because, I mean, even when you see the award that they get later, I'm not going to say who, even though we know because we watched the episode,
Yep.
But when you see the award that's handed out later, it's kind of like the MTV Moon Man Award, kind of.
It looks like a mix between, like, an Emmy and a Moon Man.
It's like a Statue of Liberty holding up a TV or something.
Yeah, there's, like, a lifted arm. It's very weird, and it's very fragile, it turns out, but we'll talk about that.
And who's giving the recap, Kristen?
I don't remember, and I wasn't paying attention when I listened, so I have no answer for you.
I don't know either. That's the thing. I thought it might have been one of the orphans at first, but it doesn't sound like Chrissy. It doesn't sound like Bonnie. Maybe it's Bonnie. I don't know.
I wonder if there's somewhere we could look this shit up.
Maybe. I don't know. But the recap kind of frames things as if the music awards are the catalyst for making Jem or Jerrica blow off Deirdre.
Yeah, they're like, oh, Jem and the hologram spend so much time preparing for the music awards that they don't even notice when 3 little girls run away.
When it was mostly, Rio's fault and the fact that Jem had to spend $1 million on clothes for orphans.
So there's blame to go around. One of the things they say that Pizzazz started trouble by calling child services, and I wrote, started trouble, Pizzazz is the hero these orphans deserve.
Yeah, that's according to the voiceover. It's just like, oh, Pizzazz has stirred up trouble by calling child services. And it's like, no, that was the correct thing to do.
Yeah, making it sound like, oh no, but Jerrica didn't actually do anything wrong. These girls shouldn't be safe and not running away.
Also, it makes it seem like all 3 of them wanted to run away, even though it was just Deirdre and, I guess, Bonnie not knowing what she was doing.
Yeah, Deirdre wanted to run away. Bonnie just wanted to go out for a walk, smell the fresh air,
And
get some wind on her face. And Chrissy was like, God damn it. I'm surprised she doesn't have, like, backpack leashes for both of them.
After the recap, we join the orphans on a scaffold already in progress, to which, here's where I assume the spider magic would come in, but nope, one of Chrissy's, like, backpack straps catch her from falling from the scaffold.
Yeah, it's weird because she definitely falls a way shorter distance than it looked like at the end of the last episode. So I say, like, it strapped directly behind, like, her neck that you would, like, hang up a backpack, like, on a peg or something. Gets caught on a part of the scaffold thing that shouldn't be jutting out in the first place, so whatever.
Yeah.
And, like, she gets caught on that, and, like, her shoulders somehow stay, like, pretty far up on the top of the strap, so I guess it's a magnetic backpack, and she's a cyborg. I'm trying to come up with explanations here, and whoever wrote this episode is it Chrissy Marks?
It's Christy Marks, yes.
Chrissy Marks, she is bleeding me dry.
Well, Christy Marks cares when she wants to, as we saw with the movie episodes, or one of the movie episodes, so it's just like, physics, fuck it, whatever. But here comes the redhead runaway kid who was also on the scaffold that we noted at the end of last episode, and he helps Chrissy up, and, they get down, everybody's safe, and Kid introduces himself as Danny, and Danny might be basically the main focus of this episode, this character that we don't really know.
He is the talking point for issues that children face.
Right, exactly.
So if you're a child watching this cartoon, pay attention to Danny's storyline, and turn this podcast off.
And call and get help. Talk to somebody.
Don't say swear words, you're so young.
But we can say swear
all the
words.
Adults, keep listening. They don't introduce themselves to each other by name until they leave the concert. Yes,
that's true. As well as, Danny's like, oh, well, let's, all right, you guys can go now. And Deirdre's like, oh, well, we ran away, so.
Yeah, we don't have a home. And he's like, oh, well, me neither, really. And one of my favorite things is that I wrote down the note. While they are talking about their different circumstances, a man runs up from behind them and grabs Danny. He is familiar, a very determined scalper. Who was like, oh, there's that little kid. I've been waiting like literally 3 hours.
Yeah, the scalper man is right there, and he puts Danny in a full Nelson, basically, when, like, in the middle of Danny saying something like, oh, it's dangerous for girls out here.
I got this little boy.
And apparently we learn that Danny owes Scoutman $50 for the ticket that he stole, which, I mean, they could have tried to run away again, probably, at this point, but instead, Danny's just like, oh, no, I have $1, and the Starlight Girl's like, well, we have, $23, so...
We took it from the honor jar. Bonnie was gonna go flip it at a casino for us.
I was wondering about that. Where did they get the fucking $20 from?
The honor jar. Now who's the criminal? Ashley's there counting the money going, motherfucker!
Son of a bitch!
I cannot believe them! But yeah, and like, Chrissy's the one with the money too, so she's not even the irresponsible one.
Yeah, really weird. So, yeah, I guess they're all working for the creepy ticket man now because he threatens them by saying that, they put runaways in jail. I mean, do they? Is that it doesn't seem that way.
See, I can answer that with the note that I wrote down is, I'm a liar adult, why would I lie? So he's definitely telling the truth because he's a lying adult, and he wouldn't lie.
Very true. And so this guy, whose name is Mick, I don't think they mention it until, like, the cops say it later, but this guy's name is Mick. I referred to him basically as Scoutman throughout the entirety of my notes. So I'm going to switch back and forth between Mick and Scoutman.
Yeah, the scalper. He's not really the linchpin of this episode.
No, he's just a guy. And so he leads them to a bus that has, like a school bus that has some missing wheels on it, and it's all graffitied up with some really, some bad 80s sayings like totally stoked and rad.
Oh, those are just liar adult versions of the kitten hang in there posters. It's harmless, don't worry about it. But they get on this abandoned bus.
That too, yeah. And Scoutman does some horrible acting with his line read of, there's some peanut butter and some bread and stuff in the back.
It's like Shakespeare. You got to emphasize every couple of syllables.
Every important thing. Peanut butter, bread, stuff, back. Got it. All we need to know. Conditions are not the best on this bus.
Nope.
We are also introduced to Ramon here, who looks like he is 15 minutes late to a Jets and Sharks rumble.
Yeah, he's got some snapping and kicking to do.
I'm surprised. I mean, I understand that it's an 80s cartoon, but he should have like a pack of cigarettes rolled up in his sleeves. That's how much of a greaser he looks
cigarettes. Like. Come on.
Lollipops.
Yeah, lollipops, please. And they're having a conversation about, like, what are you doing with these kids here? This isn't a charity. And Scoutman kind of grabs his greaser lover and explains, like, no, this dumb little kid, he thinks he owes me money for this Misfits ticket that he doesn't really explain how he got it, but it's implied that it's a fake ticket.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much the implication is, I think he said, like, ripped off or something, or which I guess means that he made counterfeit tickets.
I called my brother Zipper. He got me some tickets.
This guy is kind of Zipper-esque, isn't he?
Yeah, it's weird that they somehow look more evil than Zipper when Zipper is supposed to be a bad guy, but whatever. So they just have this hushed conversation so that we all know for a fact that they're real evil.
Yep, and Chrissy seems to be smarter than Danny because she's immediately like, I don't think we can go to jail for being runaways, and Danny's still like, I don't know.
Yeah, and then they have a really great conversation where they're discussing their own status as runaways, where they were saying like, where do you live? It's not so bad, blah, 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 blah. And Danny's like, you guys must have had it pretty bad at your place, huh? And would you like to say what Bonnie says?
Well, I do have everything written down of this conversation, and it does have, your thing there where it starts with Danny saying, guess you got it pretty bad, huh? Bonnie actually didn't write it down exactly, but I have, are you kidding me, motherfucker? We lived in a goddamn mansion. Basically what Bonnie says.
I wrote, Bonnie's like, nah, man, we were living large.
And Deirdre comes in with, and we were always cared for, and we got clothes, and we took trips, and you could basically see Deirdre being like, oh no, in the middle of
you don't know what you got till it's gone.
Pretty much. Danny, very on the nose, replies with, you must be three of the dumbest girls I've ever met.
That's a mean thing to say to someone.
It is kind of mean, but I mean, Danny left an abusive household, and they're just like, Jem wouldn't talk to me. Famous recording artist Jem wouldn't talk to me.
Also, Deirdre is the dumb one. Bonnie is just misguided.
Yeah, Bonnie doesn't even know that they're running away, I think.
Yeah, and Chrissy might as well be looking at them going, yeah, you two are dumb.
But we cut back to Starlight Manor. Now we're outside. Shayna's wearing a triangle suit for some reason.
Yeah, it's heinous.
It's like Aja's triangle jacket, but pink instead of like orange for the triangles.
And with pants, too.
And with pants, too, as well, yes. It's not just a triangle jacket, it's a triangle suit.
She's overdoing it. Come on, you're supposed to be the fashion one.
And Jerrica is wearing a shirt with blue boomerangs all over it.
And that's my favorite type of print. Boomerang.
I don't know what exactly they were talking about, but one of the Starlight girls comes out and is like, oh, there's a social worker here.
I'm afraid of adults. It's really healthy.
So they go in, and the social worker immediately gets right to the fucking point. Like, he is incredibly blunt. He's just like, so I heard your girls ran away. Where are they?
And Ashley swoops in and says they're out handing out posters for the thing, which I don't know why they bother putting this Ashley lying to a social worker when he clearly doesn't believe her.
I mean, it's weird because he sees the flyers for, the benefit for runaway kids or whatever, and this must touch his, social worker heart in such a way that he's like, well, you know what? I'm going to give you until the day of this benefit to find these girls. For some reason.
This social worker is way too lenient. And also, I like how you're saying, it must have touched his social worker heart or something, because the way he says it is, he's kind of like, okay, you have until the day of the benefit.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he isn't
then he turns his ass around and is like, bye!
Yeah, he immediately leaves, too, when he's all ready to basically arrest Jerrica right there for child abuse, I guess. And he's just like, well, you know what? You got more time. That's fine by me. Goodbye. And then he leaves.
Yep, and I would like to point out, no one seems to care that the kitchen wench ran away.
She's just gone forever. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, she has a stick and a handkerchief tied to it. Sad Incredible Hulk music.
She walked up the staircase to Chuck Cunningham heaven. So we cut to the roof of Misfits Music now, where we join a hang glide mission already in progress.
Well, I would like to point out, really quick, after the holograms quit looking for the girls. They're like, we're going to be at Starlight Music. You guys keep looking for the orphans. And the orphans,
yeah, you're right.
Looking for orphans are like, okay.
The orphans are sent on a search and rescue mission for the orphans while Jem and company fuck around at Starlight Music, basically.
Yeah, all the important stuff they have to do there, like not looking for orphans, but you do what you gotta do.
Right, yeah. And like I said, hang glide mission already in progress. All the Misfits are, tethered up pretty much for some kind of publicity stunt. And Roxy has the Zubaz padding on her hang glider as well.
Yep, great.
Pizzazz's and Stormer's aren't really... Stormer doesn't even say anything in this episode, does she?
I think she laughs maniacally at some point with the rest of the Misfits and otherwise doesn't really speak. I think when Pizzazz quite soon falls from a great distance because Jerrica's a sociopath. They're like, oh god, she's okay, and that might be it. Stormer not very chatty this episode.
Yep, but Roxy is clearly afraid of heights or something because she's looking over the edge and she's like, and Pizzazz takes this opportunity to make fun of her, calling her a whittle baby, basically.
Yeah, Eric is super gung-ho about this plan. I'm pretty sure he's secretly hoping the Misfits will fall to their deaths.
Just be like, I could finally be done with these people and I could go back to the ski resort.
I just want that silver. I just want to put my hands on it. Just let me see it. Just let me see it.
Techrat is there. He is, I guess, helping them into the harnesses, as well as affixing a laser pistol to the end of Pizzazz's hang glider.
Yeah, why not?
Which you think would cause some problems with it. I don't know what the design of hang gliders go, yeah, but...
I won't pretend to know how hang gliders work. Though, I would like to point out in our upcoming song here, one of my notes is, this is not how hang gliders work. So, I'm maybe copping to my knowledge a little bit too quickly.
The Misfits take off, and here's where song 1 starts, which is You Ought to See the View from Here.
This is the place where we belong. Up at the top, writing out a song. You ought to see the view from here. It's fabulous. It's our way. You ought to see how things are here. When you are up in the stratosphere, you ought to hear how the people cheer when you are fabulous. Like us, we feel right at home. Looking down on those below, all you little people with your dreams so small. We are totally above it all. You ought to see how things are here. When you are up in the stratosphere, you ought to hear how the people cheer when you are fabulous. Like us, you ought to see how things are here. When you are up in the stratosphere, you ought to hear how the people cheer when you are fabulous. Like us, you ought to see how things are here. When you are up in the stratosphere, you ought to hear the people cheer when you are fabulous.
My very first note for this song, which I enjoyed very much, is Roxy is right. This doesn't make sense.
It's basically, the Misfits are dropping flyers everywhere for the entirety of the song.
No, they're not flyers. Those are glamour shots.
That too. It's kind of. I'm not sure.
Flyers makes it sound like there's important information on them when it's literally just pictures of all of them.
Right. I mean, the flyers change after the song too, so I don't know. Like, as well as they're like wizard photographs where Pizzazz will be moving and singing on them as they are falling.
Yeah, except they're going like 1 frame per second.
Weird.
They were animated so slowly. At first, I was like, "Am I seeing this wrong? Are these moving, or is that supposed to be them like blowing in the wind?" But no, they're just moving very stiffly.
Just in general,
they're
there's
trapped in the photographs, going, "Let me out!"
There's some very jerky animation throughout most of this, as well as a lot of reused animation too in this video.
It's basically them just sort of flying around for a while. All the people getting the glamour shots are like, "Hell yeah, it's the Misfits, and they're flying!" And they're enjoying it quite a bit.
Well, one of them falls on an old woman's face, which is poster is immediately snatched by just I guess a Misfits fan. You can tell because she has like Misfitsy kind of hair.
Yep.
And the old woman's glasses are all like bleh, like on her face, and it's like, yeah, fuck old people. The Misfits don't care about old people.
Devil horns.
Pizzazz
Sticking a tongue out. I need to say these things because you can't see me doing them.
Pizzazz doesn't have the laser on her hang glider after a certain point.
Yeah, it's not on the hang glider because she's got it holstered down the front of her pants.
Like a true gangster.
Yeah, like a bad bitch.
At a certain point, a flyer sticks to a cab driver's window, and he like skids off into an alley, I guess, because he can't crash, because there needs to be a shot of him later like shaking his fist at the Misfits.
Yep.
I was shaking my fist in real life. I don't know why I did that.
We're doing great. I wrote taxi murder.
And the song pretty much ends with a bunch of angry or excited people kind of chasing after the Misfits. Like, not a lot happens in the song, but I think the song's really good.
Yeah, it's one of the things I wrote down was that it's like kind of slightly less assholey than a lot of the other Misfits songs, which are like, "We're great" and "haha fuck you," whereas the song is just like, "We're great" and "man, it's awesome to be great."
Yeah, pretty much. There's no haha fuck you part of the song.
Yeah, they sound like they were having fun.
And it probably all happened too.
Yeah, probably.
Other than, I guess, the wizard photographs of the glamour shots of everyone.
No, that's real too. They have money for that.
They got Pizzazz has the money and the technology.
Yep, absolutely. Like, they had that big gift billboard on top of Misfits music, so I believe it.
Yeah, Tech Rat probably made them.
Absolutely.
So we cut to Starlight Music now. Jerrica and company discussing the runaway girls and the benefit as the Misfits fly by, and all the posters are flying. And now, instead of moving glamour shots, it's just a big picture of like Pizzazz from the neck up with the word Misfits on it.
Yeah, and man, as if the runaway girls weren't bad enough, this seems like the worst thing that's ever happened to Jerrica. She's like, "Oh no!"
Well, remember, she said when Misfits music came up that it was her worst nightmare come to life.
Oh god, and it's just continuing. Poor Jerrica.
Roxy and Stormer land pretty much immediately, and Roxy's like very quick to be like, "Get me the fuck out of this thing."
Yeah, and contrary to what I said before about Eric maybe hoping that they would die in the process, Eric is so thrilled when Roxy and Stormer land. He's like, "Fantastic job, girl!"
You pissed
trying
off
the nice
everyone.
stepdad thing again.
And he asks the very valid question of, "Where's Pizzazz?" Tech Rat responds,
You need to
with,
know that because if you don't see Pizzazz, you don't know what she's up to.
she could be murdering people, and she almost does.
Yeah, so continue, because I know you like this part a lot.
Tech Rat responds just kind of meekly with like, "Oh, just testing my new laser gun," to which Eric grabs his son by the collar, and he's like, "You let Pizzazz loose with a laser gun? Bad son, bad son, bad son, don't do that."
Oh yeah, Tech Rat definitely got grounded for that.
Go sit in the corner.
That's it, put on the dunce cap. How dare you? You should know better. I wrote, "Sorry, Dad." So we cut back to Pizzazz, who is having a grand old time flying around, and she, out of the corner of her eye, I suppose, sees the laser gun and goes, I know exactly what to do with this. Flies over to Starlight Music, sees the big billboard with Jem on it, and uses the laser gun to draw a mustache on Jem.
Which,
Comedy.
those crazy Misfits always drawing mustaches on pictures of people and blowing up billboards.
Yeah, she fires it again, which breaks one of, like, the
3 pillar things holding it up, kinda. This
is its legs.
I'm very confused at the physics of this entire sequence because, all right, so let's take it step by step here. She fires the laser gun again, which blows up one of the legs and maybe the second one, because the second one is detached later, basically.
Yeah, and I like her reaction. She goes, "Whoa, too much! Like too much what?"
Yeah, it's nice at least that Pizzazz had the expression of like, oh fuck, didn't mean to do that.
I just want to, what else could she draw on a silly gem thing?
At the bottom,
Give her,
gonna write
give her a
Pizzazz.
pentagram tattoo and be like, she's a Satanist. And then sign it, Pizzazz.
And then at this point, the billboard like shoots into the air, almost going like vertical from horizontal.
I thought it was gonna like fall down flat, but it doesn't do that.
No, it kind of swings forward.
And the corner of it swings down. I don't think gravity works this way.
No, and crashes through the window of Jerrica's office.
Yeah, and then they all die because all of the broken glass kills them.
Yeah, it's segment 1 ends with Shannon and Kimber still in this storm of broken glass as somebody yells, "Get down."
Yeah, that glass definitely killed them.
Segment 2 starts with Pizzazz being like, "Oh man, it went right through Jerrica's window. Too bad."
She doesn't care even a little bit. She's just like, oh well, I didn't mean to do that, but I don't care.
If it happens, it happens. Same thing with
she's laissez-faire.
If the Misfits die in a hang gliding accident, it just happened. Whatever.
Whoops. So they're pretty annoyed about all of that glass falling down.
Yeah, Jerrica and Aja are suddenly like in front of the desk with Kimber and Shanna now too, when they kind of jumped off to the side before the commercial break.
Yeah, and Kimber approaches the billboard and is immediately like, "I'm pretty sure the Misfits did this."
I find it weird because it's like, why would the Misfits have that much destructive power? Who would be stupid enough to give them that? Why would Kimber automatically expect that? Even though it actually is the case, I still feel like it's a bit of a stretch.
I think that if it had just fallen through, they could have been like, "Oh wow, that was a really crazy accident. That's really unfortunate." But the fact that Kimber goes over and Jem's mustachioed face is staring straight back at her, she's like, who do I know that are vandals?
And that's when Pizzazz flies past, confirming Kimber's beliefs, because they go, "Look, it's Pizzazz on a hang glider."
Yeah, and I don't know why, but suddenly Jerrica gets a little bit of the devil inside of Pizzazz in her body, and she's like, "I'm gonna fuck with Pizzazz back," while she could fall from a considerable distance that would definitely kill her.
Also, while she's going away, what charges this is Jerrica's just like, "Yeah, well, Pizzazz won't be flitting off so easily." And I was like, is that an expression? Is that a word? So, looked it up. It is correct. Flit, verb, move swiftly and lightly.
Yeah, I guess so. Hang glider.
But yeah, this is where Jerrica is just like, "I'm going to kill Pizzazz," basically.
Time for Jerrica to get some murder.
She asks Synergy for a hologram to spook Pizzazz, and Synergy chooses a fucking giant eagle.
Do you think Synergy has a weird sense of humor? Like with the monster fighting the bear, which turned Rio into a big ugly monster, to the giant fucking eagle.
To the end, the eagles from the end of Lord of the Rings.
Sometimes Synergy is just like, how stupid can I make this?
Pizzazz immediately is like, "Bleh!" and starts flying all over the place, and somehow gets like out of her harness in the process, like is thrown from it.
Right on purpose.
He was expecting, maybe he just wanted Pizzazz to die.
Yeah, I believe that too. So when Roxy and Star were making, he's like, "Great job. Where's Pizzazz? Is she falling yet?" No, I didn't say anything. I hope
Laser
she's
gun.
not falling.
Whatever.
Lasers.
The hang glider crashes into a tree, and thank goodness that Pizzazz was thrown from it, because she lands in the water, which clearly, as we all know, if you fall from fucking 8-9 stories into the water, you're going to be completely fine.
Yeah, water displacement. It's like landing on a soft little pillow, but it's water, and when you smack into it at a very high speed, it's actually more like falling onto concrete. But, hey, whatever, she's fine. I'm glad Pizzazz is okay. Someone in the scene says, "Oh no," and it sounds sarcastic.
Well, Roxy takes time to be like, "Oh no, poor Pizzazz," like throwing it back at her, I guess, for making fun of her for being afraid of heights earlier. Well, now it's just like, "Well, how do you like it, bitch?"
Yeah, and Tech Rat is so sad about his laser gun and thinks that after Pizzazz falls from a considerable distance that should have killed her, that it's a good time to walk over and be like, "You wrecked my laser gun." And Pizzazz goes, "One more word and I'll wreck you."
Wonderful. Amazing. Like her fist right in his face. And we fade out before we see Tech Rat beaten to death, basically.
Which we can assume happened.
And we have Robot Tech Rat for the rest of the episode.
Yep, perfect.
So we cut back, and we've got Rumblefish and Scoutman who are asking Danny to go to work, and it sounds kind of suggestive, so I put work in quotes.
Yeah, they are clearly not going to be doing good, honest work. One of the things I did write down, because they just want him to shoplift a thing, which is honestly, they make it sound so much more sinister than it's going to be. I said this kid is lucky that they're not holding him down and shooting him full of drugs.
No,
Getting him addicted to turn him into a permanent customer.
We'll save that for a different episode.
Yeah, oh god, drugs are so dangerous. They could have been making him sell drugs too, but whatever.
They try to get Danny away from the dudes there, the runaway Starlight girls, and basically they threaten the girls and they run away, and it's like, well, see ya. And here's where Deirdre's like, we need to go home. We need to go home now.
We're a little bit in over our heads. Those guys are adults.
And Chrissy, who is no longer the responsible one for some reason, is like, no, we gotta go back and we gotta help my red-haired savior. We gotta do something about it.
You know what? She kissed Ashley on the mouth and now she gets saved from death one time.
I think that was the other one.
And this happens. I can't remember. It went by so quickly.
Leela or whatever.
I knew it was Chrissy or Leela. It's at this point where I'm like, why can't they use a payphone?
Why haven't they tried to just call Starlight House?
Because at first I was thinking, like, this would be so much more simple if they could just contact very quickly, like with a cell phone. But then I was like, well, even if cell phones existed, little kid orphans wouldn't have cell phones. But then I was like, hey, payphones exist!
And they have $23.
Yeah! That's more than enough money to, like, they could at least make probably, like, 48 calls if they don't know the exact number for Starlight House. And just keep guessing different numbers, though they talk about a switchboard lady later, so...
Yeah, I don't know, but...
They would have been able to call Starlight House.
Deirdre and Bonnie just follow Chrissy because it's like, well, okay, I guess we gotta follow her because we don't want her alone. Now, at this point, we cut to some underground tech rat basement where we get some light exposition.
That's his house. Don't be rude.
We get some light exposition of Eric going, I need a thing, and Tech Rat going, oh, I got the thing, here it is.
Yeah, that jammer that they were playing with, having a great time, a grand old time, just moving around, wiggling the gate in the last episode. They have another one, I guess, because the other one broke. And they're going to jam the benefit? It's not clear.
No, I was confused about what this was going to do as well, because when they test it, it just like it makes all the TVs go staticky, and I thought that meant it jammed like broadcast signals, which wouldn't make sense considering it's a benefit, and I didn't think the benefit was going to be televised or anything.
No idea.
As well as like the way Eric said it, it sounded like that the entire music awards is going to get jammed, other than when the Misfits win, pretty much.
This is basically sabotage overkill at this point.
Yeah, when it's basically, really, they have no reason to ruin Jem's benefit. If they're going to get the award, like, I don't get it. I don't get why either. Eric needs to do it.
But it becomes a thing later in the episode, so whatever.
Yeah, and so basically we cut back again. We're here with Ponyboy and Scoutman, teaching Danny to be a true greaser and steal some shit.
Aw, yeah. Go get some bubblegum for us. Motherfucker.
Pack of smokes.
Yeah, bubblegum and smokes. Just like my ma used to cook.
So,
I love you, Ma.
Scoutman is using the police as a means to bully Danny into shoplifting still, even though I'm pretty sure they were like, oh, well, probably can't get picked up by the police for this, especially when you can get picked up by the police for shoplifting.
Yeah, like, gotta weigh your options. One hand, look at the other, go, I'll just go to the police.
The Starlight Girls were watching from behind a corner, and they deduced that Ponyboy is not staying golden, and he's making Danny steal the stereo equipment as Danny walks into stereo world, whatever, because they had a bunch of stereo equipment on the bus. Probably stolen.
Oh, yeah. I have no idea what the, kind of animation in this is supposed to imply, but Danny walks into the store, the guy's like, whoa, hi, and the kid's like, I'm just looking. He goes over, finds a tape recorder. I'm pretty sure the store clerk is staring at him, or that's how it's drawn. And he just kind of picks up and hugs it to his chest.
Yeah, and, Ponyboy and the scalp guy were definitely like, all right, you just gotta put it, in your pockets, or, under your shirt, or something, and Danny fucking clutches it to his chest and runs out.
Yeah, he clearly didn't listen to his pep talk in preparation for the heist, which he does not Danny Ocean very well.
No, he doesn't. Ocean's stereo store.
Yep, Ocean's, an orphan and two men.
A runaway and two men.
A runaway and two men, I'm sorry. That's a better name anyway. I'm
and
gonna
three
write
orphans.
to someone.
3 men and a baby.
Oh my god, we should make a thing called 3-Minute Baby. No one's ever thought of that before.
I'll get Tom Selleck on the phone. It'll be great.
That's a really great choice. I don't know where you just pulled that out of your head, but...
I don't know who else is in there.
I have no idea.
I don't know who else is in 3-Minute Baby. Whatever, doesn't matter. Here's where Christy comes out. She confronts Danny, and Danny is immediately like, you know what? I made a bad choice. I'm going to go back in here and, put the tape recorder back, even though I already left, so it's already been shoplifted.
Well, yeah, what does anyone actually do in that situation? Because I'm going to out you. I hope no police are listening to this podcast. I know you accidentally took an entire case of water from Target once or something.
Yeah, it was on the bottom of my cart and nobody checked, and it was out of my car, and I was like, oh, fuck. I didn't, the lady didn't scan this, and I thought about it, and I just put it in my trunk anyway and left.
Because what do? You walk back in with something you didn't pay for but already left the store with? It's really a weird situation.
And I feel like I don't know if on principle they'd be like, well, that's okay that you accidentally stole this, because I don't know what you do in that situation.
One time I was accidentally charged about 1/6 of the price I was supposed to pay for a bunch of nice suiting fabric from a fabric store, and as I was paying, I'm like, this doesn't seem right, and I just kind of looked around, no one said anything, and I left with that 7 yards of fabric.
It's one of those, it's small miracles, we'll call it.
Yep, it saved me $60.
Yeah, and I was saved $2.25. It evens out.
Yeah, it's the same exact amount of money, practically.
But yeah, since it's already shoplifted, here come the guys, and they're like, well, no, give me this thing. And Deirdre is ready to fucking rumble with Rumblefish and the other guy, because she's like, can you take all of us? Three little girls and a kid?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you want to fight all of these little girls? And the guys are kind of like, sure?
We cut to some policemen at this point, too, who apparently know Mick and Ramon by name, because it's just like, hey, isn't that Mick and Ramon stealing a stereo with some kids?
Yeah, I don't know why, if these policemen know who they are not already in jail.
Yeah, or already pulled over.
But sure, whatever. So they make a big U-turn on the street and start running after Skeltman and Butch DeLoria. And everyone runs, including the orphans.
Yeah, that's, I have that written here of just, the police arrive and everybody scatters, which the girls at the very least should have stayed, because they know where, Mick and Ralph's fucking bus is, so...
And they're little kids, so, even if they did have some bad judgment in this situation, the police are not gonna care.
Yeah, but,
they're scared kids, so
whatever.
That leads us into our second song.
Tunnel Snakes Rule.
Tunnel Snakes Rule. You were waiting. You were sitting on that. Just simmering beneath the surface. You were like, yes.
Waiting for my opening.
You got it. Oh no, a dragon.
Song 2, Running Like the Wind. Here we are.
This is a stupid song.
I mean, it's a very apt song. Like, why would Kimber have written a song about running away, basically? I mean, well, I guess some kids ran away, so...
They're singing the song, and it's like, you're running away from your problem. So, the context of this being a song that Jem and the Holograms are performing is like, no, they ran away from you! Because you're not a good person.
Because they're her problems, Kristen.
Oh, come back!
Deep.
I need to have some problems, or else people won't have sympathy for me.
This song is pretty much, there's a lot of running going on, much like Running Like the Wind would imply. Deirdre trips at one point, and she, flips 3 or 4 times before, stopping. And she turns back, and there's a legitimately creepy visual, I would think, of a silhouette of a cop, on a black background, where, the only thing you could see glowing is the badge on his chest and his hat. Fuck, don't make me afraid of cops, Jesus.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was scared of some really stupid shit when I was little. That kind of imagery would probably make me afraid of cops. I was a very sensitive little kid.
She loses her hat in the process as well. Deirdre does, which Bonnie is very kind to pick up before Deirdre gets back to her feet.
More running. It's basically just a bunch of running in alleyways. I can't remember how much Mick and Ramon are actually shown in this, because it's not about them, it's about the orphans, and it does eventually cut back to Jem solo jamming in her bedroom.
Yeah, we get some weird things of Deirdre's face turns into a picture of Deirdre that Jem is holding. I want to point out this thing that Jem is wearing, which she is also wearing later, this purple dress thing that is mostly purple, except for the one half of the collar and the left arm, which is yellow.
It's really stupid looking.
Par for the course.
Yep, Jem cries some weirdly thick tears onto the picture, as we are used to seeing now at this point. Just basically just dripping corn syrup onto it, like, whatever.
I'm not gonna lie, Kristen, it's gross and it's suggestive.
Yeah, so let's not talk about it.
We cut to a shot that is like a shot from below a sewer grate, which I guess is a metaphor, maybe.
Don't run away! You'll go to jail!
The camera spins and the sewer grate turns into some blinds that Jem is looking through, which is a shot that lasts maybe 2 seconds.
I'm looking really hard for the orphans. Are they out in the front lawn? Nope. God, where could they be?
That transitions into a cat's eye. The cat jumps off the garbage can as fucking Mick runs into it like an idiot.
Great job.
Bonnie still has Deirdre's hat. It's good that we're keeping consistency here as they're still running away.
Yep, and then everyone ends up hitting a fence, which they need to climb over, and at this point, it turns into Skid Row from Little Shop of Horrors.
Pretty much. It ends with Deirdre hits the fence, and, you know, her hands are, like, on it, and it's all, like, she's open-mouthed screaming, pretty much. And I guess it's symbolic, I guess. Like, you know, you can't run away forever.
I would scream if cops were chasing me, too.
True. And that's where the song ends. All of that probably happened. All of a sudden, there's, like, a pyramid of boxes at this fence that they need to jump.
Yep.
This very high fence. All of the girls get over pretty quickly.
Those orphans scurry real good.
Mick and Danny don't get over for some reason, because I think the cop, like, knocks over the boxes, which also buries him in the process.
Yeah, segment 2 ends with Danny killing a cop.
Cop killer!
Killing cops with the boxes.
Ice-T would be proud.
I know. So proud of us in this podcast about a cartoon. So some wooden crates kind of topple over onto this cop, and he's just kind of like really looking kind of snug, actually, with his arms like right down his side, like he just kind of fell asleep underneath it. And they're like, "What did you do?"
Yeah, segment 2 ends. Danny thinks he kills this cop, and segment 3 starts with him basically, you know, Danny frantically pulling boxes off of him, and he's just like, oh, so clearly he's okay, thankfully.
Yep, he's fine, no problem.
The Irish cop arrives, the other cop, with Kaneki already captured, and Danny just gets over the fence, even though the boxes got knocked over, like, immediately, and Mick gets captured, and the girls and Danny run away, and...
Run away from the cops, and you know, it's really messed up that Danny would leave Kaneki behind like that. Grease humor! John Travolta, no!
And for some reason, Mick is, like, uselessly gloating after he gets captured by the police, being like, yeah, I got him so afraid of cops they won't come within a mile of one.
I'm gonna go to jail for a really long time. Oh god, this isn't funny anymore.
The cops, weirdly, are like, oh man, we would have helped those kids if they didn't run away. But, like, why didn't you say that when you were chasing them?
Yeah, why didn't they? Dumb cartoon.
Dumb cartoon. I agree. So we cut
dumb cartoon people.
We cut to the stadium that is housing the Haven House benefit. There's a sign outside signifying that this place is called Stouffer Stadium, and
Delicious.
There's a misspelling on the sign that it's it's a benefit concert for ranaways.
More like past tense. They already ran, so they're not runaways. They're not still running if they're at Haven House. They're ranaways.
Yeah, you know what? You're probably right, because that does show up later as well, and I assumed it was I don't know what terminology for runaways is, so...
I don't think that's right. I was just bullshitting a little bit.
I wouldn't be surprised, though, because like I said, it shows up twice, and I wouldn't be... I feel like they'd be too, like, anal about letting that slide twice.
Yeah, my bullshit theorizing in hindsight did make a little bit of sense there. Huh.
And I said at the time, like, you see the sign for a second, so who cares? Leave the misspelling, nobody will notice.
I didn't notice.
Yeah, there we go. We see most of the second-tier Starlight girls, and Ashley. Ashley says basically that she's going to beat the motherfucker out of Deirdre the next time she sees her.
That it's going to be one of those things where, who are you? I'm like you, but stronger. Ashley has to beat herself.
Whoa.
You can't kill me, I am you.
That's deep. So Ashley puts on a hat.
Persona. She gets a cool pair of glasses. Gets steak with Chie. Anyway.
So Child Serviceman arrives now, and when we cut to the scene, Jem was on stage, like, testing the mic, I guess, because Rio is there, too. And now Jem is suddenly Jerrica. We didn't see her change at all. She's just whatever. She's changed into Jerrica. I'm not going to bother with asking why.
Who cares?
She's pretty surprised that Child Service Guy is here at such an early time, and she convinces him to come back tonight with basically no effort. It's just like, oh, can you come back later? I promise they'll be here. And he's just like, you know what? Okay.
Yeah, fine. He is way too lenient. Just want to point that out again.
Hey, he's giving her 3 strikes, Kristen. That's what you got to give every good person.
That's how runaway children works. And this should be another strike, because she already lost Ashley once.
That's true, but nobody decided to report that, I guess.
They didn't care.
And Ashley nearly got thrown into a garbage truck.
Yeah, she experienced some real trauma, whereas the other ones are just getting into crime.
There's an Out of My Way motif playing for some reason as we cut to a cafe with the girls and Danny. For no reason. I think it's just I think they just like playing Misfits motifs more than normal motifs.
I guess so. And they're trying to figure out what they can do, because they want to go home now, but they don't know what to do with Danny. And they try to think, they're like, oh, maybe Danny can come to Starlight House and we can figure something out. And Bonnie's like, Starlight House is for girls. And she said that to burn him specifically. Yeah,
Bonnie lays down the law by basically saying no boys allowed, staring directly at Danny with her pizza eyes, and probably just like grabbing him by the collar, being like...
We went through this whole episode without referencing Bonnie being blind.
Well, I mean, she was able to pick up Deirdre's hat, which I guess, she didn't run into the wall or anything.
I was so shocked you didn't say it then.
She's been kind of adept, actually, so...
Yeah, she's been doing a good job. She ran from the cops! Damn, Bonnie.
But Danny tries to be a big man, and he's pretty much like, hey, I can look after myself. I'm a man!
Yep, and definitely not a small ginger kid, who I'm pretty sure our introduction to him had him crying.
Yeah, and also having like a 90-foot vertical leap.
Yeah, he also swore that he would pay them back, which, haha.
The soda jerk overhears their conversation, and he's just being an attentive, helpful person, I guess. It turns into a commercial, basically.
Yeah.
Or it's just like, here, you can call this place, which he grabs like a ticket from a thing that's called like Ranaway Switchboard, which is where Ranaway shows up again.
Yeah, I guess it's a like switchboard
helpline
operator.
Kinda.
They try to find a place for runaways to go. I didn't know they still had switchboards then.
Well, they don't have cell phones, so who's gonna know?
Yeah. And he says, yeah, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Closing time. One last call for alcohol. So finish your whiskey or beer.
Hey, no, you can't put that on your tab. You owe me. You don't have a job.
I shouldn't be serving alcohol to minors anyway.
You entrapped me. Are you a cop?
Then Bonnie flashes her badge. He's like, surprise, motherfucker.
Bonnie was a cop the whole time. She's in on it.
She's the one who tipped off the cops to the stereo stealing.
Perfect. She grabbed a walkie-talkie that she is under their shirt, and she went, hey, you gotta come here. Some shit's going down.
But they thank the helpful soda jerk, who they're like, we gotta get to a phone so we could call to find somewhere for you to go. And then we cut to the music awards.
Holy shit, they exist.
We're like 18 minutes into the episode, and here we are. Part 2 of the music awards at the music awards. The Misfits arrive. Stormer and Roxy are wearing the same style dress, and Pizzazz is in her own thing, so way to fucking match there, idiots. There's a through line in the style. They're kind of coordinating. Pizzazz is just standing out a little bit more. Yeah, they're similar enough, but Roxy and Stormer are wearing literally the same thing with just different colors. Yep, Pizzazz has like a giant stole that I assume is made from an animal that she killed. That she killed and ate. Uh-huh. Some blue lady is there to interview the Misfits. Why not Lindsay, is my question. Yeah, considering how big of a deal she made about the thing. And she's not the benefit either. Lindsay doesn't show up in this episode at all, does she? She's just doing coke somewhere, I guess. It's the only explanation I have. Maybe Lindsay doesn't want to interview the Misfits anymore after Pizzazz punched her in the face. Yeah, she's like, what, the holograms aren't showing up? I don't want to see Pizzazz if I don't have to then. Pizzazz, basically, she doesn't really say anything important. It's just, we don't have any competition in the best new rock group category, and that's it. And then we cut away from the music awards when we just got there. Yep, so they're already happening in the middle of the day for some reason. And they talk about, again, how, well, okay, I hope we know where we're going. The switchboard lady says was around here, let's go. And they're looking for Haven House. To which they find, and there is nobody there, which you think they would at least leave one person behind for, like, I know you're going to take all the runaways and shit to the benefit, probably, but there should still be, like, a desk clerk or something. Just in case any runaways come over. We see Dance for like a fraction of a second before she gets in her car. Yep, Dance is like, I got my dumbass hair on and I'm ready to ignore some runaways. Dance has a really shitty beige car. She's wearing a cape, also. I'm just saying. And Deirdre sees Dance leaving and like runs in front of her car, waving her arms like she's getting off of an airplane. To which Dance returns the favor, getting out of her car, running really quickly over to Deirdre, not waving her arms, but she's running very quickly for the animation for her to be very chipper, like, "Oh, hi, are you guys runaways?"
Hi, nice to meet you. And she gives them like the quick thing about Haven House and says about how everyone is at the benefit right now. And Danny, for some reason, instead of going to this benefit concert, is like, no, I guess I'll just leave.
Well, I mean, it is weird because Dance is just like, well, no, don't you want to go see Jem and the Holograms? And of course, obviously, the Starlight Girl's like, Jem and the Holograms!
Oh god, I'm so excited to go home and go take a swim in the pool.
But Danny is not too enthused about all this, which I guess implies that he's a Misfits fan, because we did see him go to the Misfits concert in the last episode.
Oh yeah, but they coerce him into getting into this strange lady's car. The note that I wrote for that is, I trust this lady with the worst hair.
And yep, so they head off. We cut back to the benefit, and Tech Rat is in the audience. I assumed it was like the first row, but Rio's like control console is now all of a sudden like in the middle of the audience for
like
some reason.
He's DJing the event or something.
And like nobody knows who Tech Rat is yet, I guess, so it's fine for him to just hang out at Jem and the Holograms events.
Yeah, he looks really incognito with his half-shaved head.
Backstage, Jerrica turns into Jem just as Dance arrives, like 2 seconds before, so it's a good thing Dance didn't arrive 2 seconds earlier.
Yep, she puts on her David Bowie jumpsuit.
The girls all run to Jem, and Dance, having no idea who the Starlight Orphans are, is just kind of like she turns to Danny, and they both shrug at each other.
He's like, I thought I picked up 4 runaways. It turns out 3 of them were already taken.
You trying to steal my orphans, Dance? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, get out.
She doesn't ask any questions of them either. It's just like, oh, you're here, that's great.
Yep, and Deirdre tries to apologize, and Jem said they need to share the blame, which is a lie because it's mostly Jerrica's fault.
Exactly what I have written. Good.
Uh-huh, yep.
So we cut back to the music awards. Eric basically sets up that Tech Rat is going to do something dastardly, and then we cut away from the music awards again.
Really, for these being called the music awards, not much music awarding going on.
So yes, of course, Tech Rat now does something dastardly. He activates his thing, which creates some loud-ass feedback, and it makes the gate all shaken, and, you know, it makes a blender explode on an orphan's face.
Yep, it makes Rio go like, no, my beautiful lights!
Yeah, the lights start going on the fritz, and Danny explains it as some interference, because apparently it's very loud, because everyone covered their ears.
Yep, and Jem starts to flash, so Kimber ushers her off stage before she turns back into Jerrica.
Which would kind of look weird. I mean, not just the pink flashing, but the fact that Kimber is leading Jem off stage while the rest of them stay on there.
Everyone is too busy having their ears blasted to care.
Probably. We cut back to the music awards again, and the Misfits win Best Rock Group. Yay!
Yay! I have a question.
Yes.
About this awards process.
Sure.
So did the Misfits win because they won, or did they win because Jem didn't show up?
See, that's the thing, because I have a note that's like, you know, surely this music committee isn't petty enough to not give an award to someone just because they didn't show up.
I like to think that the Misfits won it fair and square.
Then again, this is the Hot Rock Music Awards, so I'm assuming that, you know, the Misfits were backstage before they showed up, and it's like, well, you know, if Jem shows up, they're gonna win. And it's like, well, no, they got a benefit. Well, all right, you're gonna win, so make sure you perform Gimme, 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 or something.
Yep, I think the Misfits actually won. They're so happy about it.
I would like to think that they actually won, too, because it seems like not exactly a legitimate surprise, because I'm sure that they knew in their hearts that they would win. Maybe for Stormer it would have been a surprise.
Yeah.
But when they go up on stage, Roxy tries to touch the award, to which Pizzazz very quickly elbows her in, like, the neck.
Roxy should have known better.
And then she shoves the award presenter out of the way before giving her speech, which, once again, she doesn't really say much other than just, like, we deserve it. Like, she doesn't take the opportunity to scream or, like neg Jem and the Holograms or anything.
Yeah, which is surprising. She just says, like, thanks to the committee for having the good taste to give us this award.
Which, that's amazing that she restrained that much. Maybe Eric was like, you gotta just, like, don't say anything other than thanks, basically.
Maybe she was just genuinely grateful.
I severely doubt that.
Well, she was really happy she won. Can't that be genuine?
Okay. I don't know if, like, genuine feelings, and genuine positive feelings coming out of Pizzazz seems like an impossibility.
Well, a lot of shit gets in her way. Not that that's always, like, moral justification for her actions. And that maybe she's a little bit too sensitive of what other people are up to, but she's happy she won.
Pizzazz gets in a limo, and she wants to go to Stouffer Stadium, where Eric is like, I don't think we need to go to the Gem benefit, and Pizzazz is
She
like,
wants the microwave mac and cheese, damn it.
now is when she wants to neg Gem and the holograms by holding the award up all triumphantly and shit and rubbing it in their face, I guess.
But I think that's hilarious that she's like, I won this award, and now I want to stick this award in Gem's mouth. And
basically,
they all start laughing really hard, and it doesn't sound evil. It sounds like they're just really happy.
Well, I mean, why wouldn't they be? They won an award.
Yeah.
So we cut back again, and the crowd is booing because the stadium feedback is still feedbacking, and for some reason, Danny is like hanging out near Rio. I don't know why. He's not even like in a seat. He's just hanging out.
Making friends.
Just hanging out, making friends near Rio, and he turns around. He notices Tech Rat with like a weird thing, and immediately he just like points at Tech Rat and he's like, "What do you got there?"
He decides that for some reason that's suspicious that he has a thing, and like my only justification is like I guess back then people didn't have smartphones or tablets, so it's weird to see people with just like an electrical device.
I said it might have been like a portable TV or something, even though it probably wouldn't have been like a small square.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, Danny rips the thing out of Tech Rat's hand after, Tech Rat screams his catchphrase of "Don't touch me," because he's got the "Don't touch me" disease.
I would like to point out he never said that when Eric was touching him.
Well, Kristen,
Dad, please, just hug me. Just hug me.
Father-son relationship is stronger than son weird runaway relationship.
Not Emily Dickinson disease.
To which apparently it was like wired to like the inside of his sleeve or something, because like some wires get cut as Danny pulls it out of his hand, and it stops the feedback, and I think Tech Rat just like run away or something.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
And everything's back to normal. Jerrica turns back into Gem, and she's just like, "Yeah, let's rock 'em."
Yeah, it's time for a boring song for this benefit.
Friend or stranger. It starts out, we got, piano, music world, flying keyboard, whatever. The Runaways are all on a keyboard, and there's like a Guitar City or whatever,
I wrote down, this song goes out to all the Runaways that don't have big mansions.
And then all of the people not at Haven House, well, all the people at Haven House are just like, oh, that song's not for us. 'Cause Haven House is big enough.
It's definitely not as big as Starlight Mansion.
Oh, yeah, I mean, fuck. It's Howard Sands' house.
But it turns out Dance is there. I forgot that she was supposed to be dancing in the middle of the song. It's weird, again, for how little she speaks. I find it so hard to believe that they knew they were going to bring her back again.
I mean, they made a doll of her, Kristen. That's probably why.
Well, who knows when?
That's true. I assume that it's
we're in the middle of the first season. They have plenty of time to make a dance doll for how many times she shows up after this.
That's true. She's also wearing her street clothes that she was wearing before, which don't seem like dance clothes. Like, I feel like she should be dressed a little more elegantly for the subject matter of this song, when she's dressed with, like, a fucking fringy cowboy jacket.
Yeah, my tassel jacket on. Time to dance!
Child serviceman is about to go arrest Gem, I guess, because he stands up, and all the girls arrive. Bonnie hugs the Leela, Chrissy hugs two of the ones that I don't know their names. The one who's scared of ghosts, I think, in the Halloween episode.
That'll show you, social worker doing his job.
We cut it back to him. He's like looking a little like, oh fuck, because Deirdre and Ashley look like they're gonna throw down. And then it may look like they hug, but actually Ashley's using a bear hug on Deirdre, and Deirdre is crying because her air is being cut off.
Yeah, I said that when they hugged, Ashley actually also simultaneously punched Deirdre on the ear.
Why the ear? Fuck.
Yeah, twice now we have that reference. Awesome.
Danny and Rio shake hands for some reason, I guess, because it's just like, hey, good job, kid. You found Tech Rat.
You want to be a light man?
And he's like, boy, don't I?
No, I need a protege, please. I'm so goddamn lonely.
How much money would it take for you to be Rio's protege, Kristen?
I wish you could see the face that I made, because I am like doing some really serious contemplating and like moral math in my head.
Would you do it for all the tea in China?
No.
Would you do it
I
for
don't
all
need that much tea.
The tea in Adventure in China?
I don't want to do anything for Adventure in China. And there was no tea in that episode.
You're right. So we cut to some people being helpful to kids, basically. We got Joan Rivers, as I called her, Soda Jerk, and season 1 of Breaking Bad, Bryan Cranston leading a baseball team of kids.
It's a lot more sinister than it looks. That's the thing about Breaking Bad.
That's the thing. He's maybe that's why I thought it was sinister too, because he's like holding the bat by like near the top of the bat, and he holds it up like a yeah kind of thing, and it's like, oh fuck, are these kids gonna go rumble? Is this gonna continue?
It's my birthday. My wife is gonna make me bacon breakfast. It's gonna be really tense.
The rest of this song is gonna be really tense and
shot beautifully.
Yep. During the rest of the song, the Misfits arrive. Pizzazz holds up the award, much like season 1 Bryan Cranston holding up the baseball bat in the shot a few shots ago. But like nobody really cares because like I don't
They're
know.
all holding hands and swaying back and forth.
Yeah, I don't know if Pizzazz couldn't hear the fact that there's a song being played, but she's like did she think that she'd hold it up and be like, yeah, and Jem would immediately like break down and like go into a fetal position and cry?
I think she expected that someone would have handed her a microphone that was hot as soon as she got there, so that she could override whatever was going on. But yeah, she's just so dissatisfied that everyone is having fun, even though they didn't win an award.
So Pizzazz thinks it's wrestling, basically.
Yeah.
Pizzazz looks all forlorn too, like she wishes she could help people too, even though I feel like what she should be doing instead of lowering the thing and looking defeated, she should be rushing the stage and beating Jem with the award.
Yeah, go jump off the top rope. Just inject some wrestling into this.
The top of the Coliseum, and yeah, just hit the stage somehow.
I'm trying to think of a
Be great.
good Hell in a Cell pun, but pizzazz doesn't really rhyme with anything, does it?
Pizzazz in a
Yeah, pizzazz the cell.
Pizzazz in a cell, whatever. That's just it'd
Hell
be like
in pizzazz.
hell is Pizzazz.
Hell is pizzazz.
But that's the end of the song, pretty much. Most of that probably happened, other than obviously the stuff at the beginning, the weird imagery of keyboard land and whatever.
That was just Kimber's imagination. It's like Lisa Frank there.
No, I understand why her hair is like a Lisa Frank color.
Yep, just needs some glitter and she would be perfect.
And so they finish the song, dances in front of all the holograms, which I thought at first, what a fucking jerk. But I mean, it is her benefit, I guess.
Yeah, so it's fair.
Roxy is just like, so I thought that they were going to ruin it. And Eric says, blast it, like a true 80s cartoon villain.
Yep, and then he swishes his cape and leaves.
He's so angry that his son failed him.
Hissing.
And Pizzazz, at this point, like the last shot is pretty much Pizzazz with her mouth open, mouth agape, looking. I interpreted this as basically she goes into like a psychotic rage that when she drops the statue wouldn't have broken unless it's her. Just she uses like mind powers to just like atomize it.
Yep, what you don't see is after it breaks, it fizzles and turns into ash. Glowing ash. Green, glowing ash. And it's radioactive.
And that's pretty much it. Just Pizzazz drops the statue and it breaks, and that's the end.
That's a really underwhelming episode.
Yeah, it's...
There wasn't anything like super triumphant.
No, it's like...
And the Misfits didn't get like super burned. They were just like, oh, we won our award still, but we didn't get to have like the emotional victory.
Yeah. It's weird because for a series of episodes called the Music Awards played a very little part. Jem and the Holograms didn't even win. It should have been called like the benefit.
We
or
don't
something.
know anything about the Music Awards or like Runaway Orphans. Because that's what these 2 episodes were about.
Runaway Orphans, yeah. And the award was broken at the very end of the episode, so that's just like a big fuck you to the Music Awards.
Whatever. There are other awards in the series, so I guess you burn one. There's another one around the corner.
Yeah, we got the Oscars, the Oscars XB or whatever.
Yep.
And, I'd like to think that after all is said and done, that even after the concert, Deirdre and Ashley were still fighting their eternal battle of the shadow, the yourself, whatever. The inner self.
Yep. They look into a mirror and punch it.
And that, Greaser
It's very
Man
artistic.
is rumbling with all of his cellmates in jail as well. There's a lot of rumbling continuing on, I would like to think.
Lots of snaps. Snaps and kicks.
Lots of snapping, lots of knife fights over on a stone
lots
bridge.
Of zip zapping.
Oh, no Zipper in these episodes either.
He
only has a few episodes left. Oh no.
It's so sad.
And he doesn't even have a big triumphant ending either. It's just like he goes the way of Kitchen Wench. He goes up that staircase to heaven.
Yep. I like to think that Zipper's spending some time with his dad before he has to go.
Well, I know we'll see him again, thankfully.
Yeah.
I don't know how many more times, but we'll see him again. And, now's the point in the evening where I'll list off all the fun things where you can contact us. You can follow us on Twitter at cwtapod. You can follow me at Octopus, AWKTAPUS.
You can follow me at FunnyGirlTM, like trademark.
You can find us on the iTunes, on the SoundCloud, on the Stitcher Radio. Leave a rating, give a review, do whatever. We accept everything, including old forms of social media that we'll try not to make jokes about anymore.
We'll do our best. No promises.
You can reach us at Gmail at cwtapod at gmail.com. I said at and Gmail a lot of times right there. But, you can tell us about all the times that you dressed as a greaser and stole stereos, or like hollow award wins that you had in your life.
We're going to have a serious talk this time.
We're going to sit you down and be like, you should really talk to somebody, but you can't stay here, so get out of my soda jerk shop.
Yep, see you later. But we do, before you go, have an announcement.
Yeah, we've reached what I believe you referred to as the mid-season point, even though last episode was technically the mid-season point.
Yeah, because it was a two-part episode. We are technically one over, but we are at about the mid-season point of the first season of Gem.
And if you noticed, we're going to be doing a little more than Gem. Our podcast name isn't really a Gem reference, it's just I figured it was a good place for us to start. So we're going to be branching out for the next 3 weeks into the world of cinema.
Or movies,
Or
for you
movies.
slightly less inducted in the craft.
And the first title we'll be exploring will be shortened to cwtapod, or
Yeah, everyone loves that.
or Can We Talk About Big Trouble in Little China? A movie chosen by me for the simple fact that it's currently on Netflix, and it's a very fun movie.
And I have not seen it. The week after that, we will be doing my pick movie, but I will leave you in suspense until next week as to what that's going to be.
Yeah, we'll hold that off. And of course, because we're going beyond 24 minutes, and because if we can spend an hour talking about 24 minutes, just think of what an hour and a half movie is going to be like. The episode's going to be a little long. Just
Yep. So yeah, we're expecting extra long episodes. Hopefully, a treat for you guys.
hopefully, let's hope. But that's pretty much it for the Can We Talk About podcast. I am Joe.
I am Kirsten.
And join us next time where we will talk about Big Trouble in Little China.